What's up, everybody? This is the pregame live show. If you're arriving here right now, you probably won't hear this message. I don't know. Does anybody hear the initial messages on a YouTube live stream? Because you'd have to be like ready to click it immediately in order to hear it. Either way, Will Brinson, John Breach, Ryan Wilson here to break down. No, we're not going to break down. We're going to sweat out the final few minutes of how much time do we have?
7 minutes and 19 seconds, Brinson.
Of Browns-Broncos, a game that has gone.
Actually, keep the official game clock on my watch.
Kind of how we always know. What's up, fellas?
Hey.
I would say that on a scale of 1 to 10, this game has been a 6.5. But it had like the makings of a 3, and then it's been surprisingly dramatic down the stretch. You guys agree?
I would agree with that. I think this is an interesting game.
But, it's fun if you're betting the spread. We got it at -3.5 early in the week, so that's what we're looking at for our expert picks. I don't know what it was. What was it at the kickoff?
It closed at 1.5. Browns favored by 1.5. It's also nice if you have Dearness Johnson on your fantasy team.
Man, I'll tell you what, Dearness Johnson looks good.
Like, you know what's fun?
Like a legitimate NFL starting runner. He's an AAF guy too.
That's the funny thing, Brinson. I was literally thinking before this game, like Dearness Johnson could be the 15th best running back in the entire NFL, but you don't know because he's behind 2 of the 14 best running backs. You know, being third string running back on the Browns isn't a bad thing. You could be super talented. You just can't get on the field because Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are ahead of you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was great in the AAF.
By the way, if you watch HQ on Wednesday night with me and Brinson, my favorite prop breach over Cortland Sutton, 65.5 yards.
And Cortland Sutton hit it.
Yeah, I don't really know why I did the over on Melvin Gordon rushing yards. I mainly did it because I liked it relative to the number. But as it turns out, I should have gone with my favorite, which was Cortland Sutton over receiving yards. Wilson is just a faster emailer than me.
And I will tell you one prop that I bet that is not hit yet. I'm not happy about it. Chase McLaughlin over 1.5 field goals. We already had 1 field goal. We had a field goal blocked, which would have been 2. We had the Browns go for it on 4th and 3, which could have been a second field goal. It's just Stefanski, the Browns are all mocking me right now. I can't handle it.
Yeah, the math nerds we're leaning towards kicking it there, a 4th and 3 from the whatever that was, the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I didn't think Stefanski would be that aggressive.
How about 40, who couldn't tackle Case Keenum short of the sticks as he's going in?
Oh, Sternad. I thought you meant 40 that scored the touchdown.
Ooh.
Get the ball. Dang it.
All right. We have a big 3rd down.
Greg Newsome the second out of Northwestern.
Yeah, really good player. I like the fact that the Browns went out and drafted Greg Newsome, even though they had
Greedy and Denzel.
Yes.
Both of them are injured right now.
The Browns' second half performance has been extremely disappointing. Obviously, I mean 7-7, both teams. Broncos here knocking on the door. A little surprised they didn't go to Drew Lock.
Have you seen Drew Lock play?
I mean, Teddy Bridgewater hadn't been.
Teddy came out the second half and led a touchdown drive.
I forgot you're a Teddy stand. Can we just feed the Fant?
God dang it! Why don't you tackle
somebody? They get the first.
That's a first down.
Did they give it to him?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if they did.
You already cussed?
Oh, nope. The ref is moving it. Oh, my God.
No, he didn't curse.
I thought you cussed.
No, I didn't even say anything.
Maybe our words combined sounded like we did.
Oh, he's out 2 yards short.
By the way, I mean, would never talk bad about another announcer. He just had that. It was clearly 1st and goal.
His foot
his toe went out.
His back foot was out. It's
like close. He's clearly out.
You got to go for it. So just give it to him. So
I'm obviously just watching the Braves game.
Do you go for it here? Because if you don't get it, the game's over.
If you're Fangio, the
game is over if you don't get it.
I want him to kick it because I would like the Browns to cover the 3.5. But you go for it if you have a brain. He's short. He's short by like 6 inches. So Fangio's gonna punt it.
Where's the ball? Right there.
The previous look was more definitive. Can you be more definitive? It's just definitive or not, right?
You know, the thing is they don't have a straight down the line shot, so the ref literally has to guess.
Well, here's the thing, and I say this all the time. was reminded during the halftime. They showed the commercial of how they have the next gen stats. I think it was what it's for. They have chips on the shoulder pads, chips on the players' helmets. They got chips everywhere except for in the football. Do we know why that is? Anyone?
It's because the NFL. I think it's because my operating theory has always been that the NFL. Just two things. One, the NFL kind of prefers this old school throwback, like where there's controversy and people talk about stuff and they don't know. And then two, I think that the NFL is worried if it starts going to these, think about the people who run the NFL, stodgy old middle-aged white dudes, right? I mean, I think they're worried that if they go full microchip, they won't. It'll open up a whole another can of worms. Not
what can is that?
Well, it's like you
never eaten worms? There's a lot of cans you don't want to eat.
No, just that. Like, is the microchip in the ball? Like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a good question, Brenton. We need to bring electrical engineer on the show and see how realistic it is to get an electric chip into the ball or microchip into the ball to see if that makes sense. Because we all say it all the time. Why don't they just put a microchip in the ball? But do you put one on each nose of the ball? Because if you put it in the middle of the ball,
I'm saying, like, is the microchip do you have a controversy where the microchip got shifted as the ball's being thrown around, or I don't know. I mean, there's
we're
a lot
launching
of stuff.
Satellites into space. Tesla, what's his face, can land a rocket after it shoots off into space. It can land by itself. We're worried about a microchip in a football.
Are you saying that the football contract should go to Tesla instead of Wilson? That's ironic, Wilson.
It's coincidental, dumbass. There's your curse word.
Did you hear me? Oh, I thought I muted myself.
He's not even paying attention.
I was screaming cuss words because the Dodgers hit another jack. Chris Taylor.
Brinson, turn the game off. The Braves are going to lose. Live to fight another day. That's how. Don't get angry. It's all that's going to happen. I've learned this as many decades as a Bengals fan.
Right.
You give up at some point. You take the loss, and then you worry about the next game.
By the way, shout out to Breach for slowing this game down when he said, "Is this the quickest quarter ever? The third quarter?"
Yeah, I said the third quarter, not the fourth quarter. This thing.
But that means that.
Oh, they did. Fourth and inches.
They got the call right. You got to go for it. Just sneak it with Teddy. Or if you're Breach, you trade for Tom Brady and do the sneak that with Tom Brady.
Or you don't do what Josh Allen did and run to the exact same side that failed the first time you ran a QB sneak against the Titans. Wilson.
Yeah, the mighty Titans defense.
Harold Landry's tearing it up. Jeffrey Simmons. Kidding me?
Oh my God, what a bad 5 seconds for me.
He got it.
I
think.
Maybe.
I
think it's just wherever he may be short.
No,
the guy at the top has him short. The guy at the bottom has him there.
They don't know. It's a first down.
What is football? Oh my God.
Oh, they give the guy at the top. Oh my gosh. He got it easy. The guy at the top.
No, it's a first down. He got it.
Well, Brinson was right, though. The guy coming in from the top of the screen had him like 6 inches short, and the guy coming at the bottom of the screen.
But the thing is, every time they meet in the middle, one guy's like 6 inches in front or behind the other guy. They don't know. And
I don't think they would review that.
This is a perfect timing for the microchip discussion, though. Teddy's got him. Did he get his feet down? Tim Patrick did not.
Tim Patrick have a catch in this game?
I don't ever trust anything that the refs do. Like I don't believe anything until I see a full replay, because I feel like that was a little bit closer than it looked.
No, it wasn't.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen that pylon. Why is there a pylon on the outside of the white?
You guys remember back in the day when you couldn't push the receiver out of, like, that would have been a touchdown because
you could out of bounds, but it would still count, right? Yeah.
Right. Like if the ref decided that he could have caught it inbounds, it'd be a touchdown.
Worst judgment call ever. Oh yeah, I think he would have gotten his second foot down. Please hit this guy. Hit
him. Boy. Look at old Teddy. Teddy 2 legs. Teddy 2.
Get out of bounds, Teddy. You're gonna get killed.
Do you still get nervous when Teddy runs around and has?
Yeah, I want him to like quietly get sacked so I can cover this game. I don't care about the.
What am I supposed to look like?
Rooting for a field goal. I never thought that would happen.
Oh, right? Hassel. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, the Melvin pick was terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Letting Hassel down.
Please let Hassel
know. There's also still 5:30 left in this game. I mean, if the Broncos score, get a stop, get the ball back, maybe they.
Hassel, my lock was Cortland Sutton over 65.5 yards. That hit. And if you want to check the CBS Sports Experts Against the Spread page, that'll tell you all you need to know about who you should listen to. I'll leave it at that.
Enough.
I think Brinson picked the same as you.
Oh, dang it. Now I'm going to lose messing around with
Brinson. My goodness. Oh,
Well, we have
Broncos
3.5
might
for the
cover.
site, don't we? Did they not move it to 1.5?
That's 3.5 on the side. We moved it from 5.5 to 3.5, not to 1.5.
I need this to honk the
Who's
field goal.
who's updating the site? Like, why are we not?
Reach my get. I was the one that took the Broncos to cover.
Yeah,
You're
you
the
are.
only one who took the Broncos to cover.
Out of
No,
us three.
a
Out
lot
us
of people
three.
did. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I switched. I switched to the Browns at the last minute. I thought they were going to move it to like 1.5. I have the Broncos. In full disclosure, I have the Broncos plus in real life. I have the Broncos plus 3.5 as a wager, and also the Browns money line. So currently fine with the score. Ooh,
Miss it.
Miss.
You striped it.
Wilson is 15 games ahead of me, but I'm in third place out of 9 writers. So what does that say about how well
That is the
Wilson's
most
doing?
breach thing of all time.
Yeah, Prisco's
Hey,
second.
top 3. I get a medal. Ooh, that's
Oh,
the most
wow.
Brinson thing of all time.
Is that last
what,
place?
What 2-12? Yes. What do you mean? Is it in last place?
I just didn't know if anyone could
I'm
do worse than
50 games behind you, you asshole.
that. Oh, Debo.
We're live. You see that on YouTube?
All the FCC.
That is an improved.
We've heard the A word twice. Wilson used it, but without Hole. And now Brinson. Oh my God, this is hilarious.
Hey, breach. Hassel wants to know, did your kicker prop hit?
Hey, tell Hassel that I only need one more field goal, and there's still 5 minutes and 17 seconds left. So
The question is, did your kicker prop hit?
No, has it hit? It has not yet. Did
So it
it
has
hit?
not
It still
hit.
could.
It's a yes or no question. Did
It
your kicker
still
prop?
could.
Did your kicker prop hit?
Well, you can't answer a question about a prop about a game if the game's not over. So I refuse.
Well, the Melvin Gordon prop isn't over either.
I didn't make fun of you.
Yeah,
For
fumble to the
Melvin
house,
Gordon
run it out. Melvin breaks one.
I need
Unlikely. It's
prop.
unlikely.
Wilson, let's ask Wilson. What is more likely to hit? The Chase McLaughlin kicker prop. He needs 1 field goal, or the Melvin Gordon over 40.5 yards. He needs 23.
Yeah, the rushing yards or total yards?
Very
Rushing.
clearly the
Rushing
kicker
yards.
prop.
Rushing yards.
But
Thank
here's
you.
the thing. I think like if the Browns lose the onside kick, then you feel better about Melvin if it's total yards.
Oh, they're not kicking onside kick here. They're kicking all the way down.
Yeah, they got.
There's 5 minutes left, all three timeouts. Yeah.
5-17. They're definitely kicking. There's no onside coming.
I need a return from whoever's
Hashtag free Debo from Chuck P.
Benson's
Free
the
Debo.
worst
Brinson.
better I've ever seen.
People are just piling on your 2-12 week.
I look, man. I knew what happened, and the second that Wilson started piping off on like Tuesday morning, and Prisco's texted me. It's like, you got a couple of big hits Wednesday night, Thursday afternoon podcast show, Thursday 4 p.m. with Breach. Didn't expect to get absolutely sandblasted by Adam Shine on actual television.
Oh, Shine brought it up?
Yes, all we do is picks. Of course, he blitzed me. He goes, I would never bring up your 2-12 record. If you had a 2-12 record for a week, I would never mention it. That would be insane and rude for me to mention your 2-12 record.
God, he just went all in.
Brinson outthought himself. That's what happened.
I just thought there was going to be a bunch of upsets, and there weren't.
Hey, Breach, here's what if you look in Slack, this is what I did today watching YouTube. I asked a question as a.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in there. And look at Prisco trying to read it. Prisco's like, put in the box.
That's hilarious.
We'll share this. This is from our live. So, by the way, if you're watching right now, FYI, every Thursday, moving forward, we're going to have a live pick show at 1 p.m. on YouTube. And Wilson's going to take over for me because he's so good at picking games against the spread. And he'll explain his logic for doing
Anthony
so.
Schwartz. Run, dude.
Wilson,
Right.
what is your logic, by the way?
He explained it last week. He said he looks at it for 3 seconds, makes his pick, goes with his gut, and that's it.
That's it.
And
So-
he's only changed 1 pick all year. Is that what you said? I listened. I paid
until
attention.
last
I take
week.
Notes.
Yeah, you were right. Until last week. Last week I listened to you numbnuts and I lost 2 of the 3 games.
I love that
changed.
you're blaming 3 losses on us, which is just hilarious.
Two losses.
Over under on Prisco bench reps. Are we doing? I assume we're doing full combine, standard weight for the bench. I will
135.
135 or whatever.
Yeah. No, 135. This is what it is. 245s on a 90. Come on, everyone knows that.
I'm sorry. Wait. Do you think the people at the combine are bench pressing 135?
Isn't it just 245s on a 90?
I don't know. You're the draft expert. You tell me.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
If they were doing 135, they'd put up 95 reps.
Yeah.
So what do they have? They have 2 plates on each side, Debo?
Yeah, it's 225.
Oh, nice. Debo.
135. Very
Well-
close though. Almost. You were within 100 pounds.
You had no idea, so I was closer than you.
I said 225.
Did you go 2-12 last week against the spread? Was that you?
There it is. There's the lashing.
Clown
Basically
shoes.
like a little minty of Frisco.
Love it. Love it. The thing is, you have no comeback for us. I can use that. I can use it for the rest of the year. I could go 0-50.
I don't know if you can go in 50.
Yeah, I think you're right.
At some
Now, if
point,
you
you
were-
would lose.
Yeah. You also make more than 50 picks. Oh, Dearness, get out of the corner. Go.
Go.
Oh.
We'll fumble
And
it.
this guy has some burst and like good cuts in small
Well,
space.
it's funny because Aikman mentioned that he ran a 4.8 at the combine or his pro day, wherever he was. And that has something to do with him not getting drafted. He ain't running a 4.8 right now. I need to run a 4.2. Going through
So I
that
think
hole.
the best case for all of us right now is the Browns kick the field goal. You guys get your cover. My field goal prop hits, and we all
And
win.
then the Broncos, while trying to come back and win the game,
Throw
run
a
a
pick
draw to
six.
Melvin Gordon for 30 yards. On
Last play of the game.
third and 14. Vic Fangio
Did
tells
you actually
Sherman
put,
to dial up a draw.
did you look at Debo? Zero's the answer to that, Debo.
Not. I don't do weights, so probably 0 or none.
No, I think you could get a couple.
Are the Broncos?
I will take the under on 2.
We need the Broncos to not start firing off timeouts here to get this Browns. And see, at this point, I'm like, I have so much pride in. Oh, look at our buddy Brandon Baylor on the sidelines of San Jose State game tonight.
Yeah, he's been putting on Instagram. He's kicking it in
That's
Vegas.
The they're playing UNLV. They put it in a little
The running Rebs.
unnecessary.
Breach, did you actually put money on the field goal kicking bet?
A very, very small amount.
$5?
If I give a prop on HQ, I like to bet it, or in the newsletter, because I only give one prop.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I bet the Gordon over, and I'm sorry. That was stupid.
We had a kicking prop in the newsletter on
my God.
Monday that was plus 165. That one hit. I
How
went
do you
with
think
Do I want the Browns to cover for my pride on the site, or do I want to middle this with the Cleveland
mean,
money line?
Well, I have the
your
Browns
pride's
covering.
hurting pretty bad right now with that 2-12.
Yeah, I know,
I would
like,
take
I'm
anything
willing-
you can get.
I'm willing to give up the money on Broncos plus 3.5 to get the pride cover. That's my pride is stinging. And
Oh Lord. That a baby
Landry's
Jarvis.
had a heck of a game. Odell's been cheeks. As the
I'm
kids say.
gonna just assume that Odell's still really, really hurt, but he has not looked good since coming
He's
back.
had a big drop. He had maybe 2 big drops. Obviously re-injured things and generally slipped on a route. Landry had that bobble catch. Had that one that got overturned. Oh, Landry. Oh no.
This is me
Landry
again.
to the sideline and in a lot of pain. Odell is kind of holding him up, but not really.
Yeah, Landry's not coming back in.
Man, yeah, that's probably
So
it.
if you're the Broncos, you're going to use your timeout after this
Landry might
play.
be going back to IR, honestly.
What
Brown-
was it? Was a knee injury originally?
So Broncos use their timeout there after they got the first down.
Just throw a touchdown.
To who? They're
Case
going to run the
Keenum.
ball 3 times. I mean, look at Johnson gets outside and stays in bounds. That's fantastic. So you got to
Fin-
use another one. There you go.
Now you got to use the timeout.
Yep.
They're in
Let's-
field
All
goal
right.
range.
So the second down here.
Look at his left knee. Is that what it looked like here?
Yeah, he looked like
Oh,
he was,
just general cruddy field, lower body parts banged up. Let me ask you this: on the second down after the Broncos call timeout, do you consider
on.
throwing here?
yeah, they just threw the ball to Landry. I mean, I don't think
Was
Stefanski.
that on third down, or am I wrong?
I don't know. Was it Breach?
You have a guy who's carried
Second
the ball
and 4.
17
On the 40
times.
there, you're not. But I mean,
17 times for 120 yards. I think you give it to him.
yeah, because
That's my take.
if you get
It's a
a
terrible take.
first down here, I don't think you can't because they'll still have a timeout in the 2-minute warning, so you can't clock it out. But right,
Yeah, you cannot.
you cannot.
You can take it down to you
If
can
you
take,
get a first down here,
you take a minute 20 off after 2 minutes. So you'd have the Browns if the Browns kicked a field goal, if the Browns got a first down here,
If the Browns
and
get
then
a
went
first
3
down here
and
by
out.
passing, I think they'll probably run it. If
Hold
they
on, go
did
ahead,
pass
Breach.
it,
Breach, what'd you say? How
So
much time-
if they get a first down on this play, you're the Broncos, you call a timeout, and then
It is
obviously, and then the
second
Browns have
down
3
after the
downs.
2-minute
They
warning.
run the play, 2-minute warning, and then you kneel it on second, kneel it on third, or you just run a play, and then you'll take it down to about 35 seconds when you would kick the field goal.
Oh, okay, so they can't run the clock out.
If they get
Oh,
a first down here, they cannot.
Right.
oh my god, this Denver rush defense is horrendous.
Get there.
He got it. Oh my god.
All right, there we go. What, they call
That
another
is
timeout?
crazy.
What a disaster. That is pathetic. I mean, you have to sell out for the run there and just get on him. And he just fought for it. This is an incredible performance by Dearness Johnson. He's at 19 carries, 130 yards, and a touch.
Patrick Surtain the second looks like he's never tackled a running back in his
Yeah,
life.
this has not been a great game for Patrick.
I mean,
Surtain.
he's doing fine in coverage, but he's pulling a Dion here.
Broncos defense is bad. They were fourth in points allowed coming into this game, and the advanced DVOA had them as like 17th in the league.
So
they don't
worst
have
case
Josie
scenario,
Jewell. They don't have Bradley Chubb. They don't have Von Miller. I mean, they do have
worst case scenario for you guys would be another Browns first down, because then they'll just kneel it and end the game.
Yeah. No, I don't want a first down. I need the Broncos.
So now you want a 3 and out here and then a field goal.
Right. I want 3 passes, all short.
I don't think they call this a 3 and out, but we'll let it slide.
I mean, a 3 and out from this point, run 3 plays and you're out.
You can't be 6 plays and 51 yards into a drive and ask for a 3 and out.
Wilson knew what I meant.
Yeah, I do. Tackle them. There we go. That's one.
I
All right, run another play before the 2-minute warning. Let's go.
Now I'll tell you this. I don't even think. Hey, thank you, Jacob. Micah Parson plus 450 defensive rookie of the year. Thanks to Brady and Benson. So I act like every bet I make is a disaster.
Benson's sitting at minus $50,000 right now with that Micah Parsons bet. Everything else you hit with that one and nothing else.
All right,
I love it. Love it.
All right, so they got 2nd and 7 on the 20. 2 minutes left.
Either
You
throw a
can run
touchdown
once.
or take 2 knees.
No. But here's the thing: is there a chance that Kevin Stefanski? All right, so you go,
Yes.
you run the ball on 2nd down. Let's say you get 3 yards. It's 3rd and 4. You run it down to 1:20. You run it again. It's 4th and 1. And let's say you get 2
He's
yards.
going for it on 4th and 1.
On 4th and 1, you run the play clock down to 0 and call a timeout. So you use all the time.
Yes.
And
then
then
you
you
go
can
for it.
decide.
Should be at 1:20 with the reset. So you're looking at like 35 seconds or 30 seconds. I think at that point you probably have to kick, because if you miss, field goal would tie you up. Whereas if you kick it, the Broncos have to get a touchdown, and you are giving them, with no timeouts, roughly 28 seconds. And you squib it maybe. And so you'd have 28. I think I'm doing that math right. You have like 28 seconds to do it. Look, our buddy Lucas is in the chat here too. What would you bet on? Me. Well, I have to get Lucas his hat before.
Tackle him. There we go.
Wilson, what a full-blown degenerate you are with no money on the line. This is amazing.
I know this is my gambling.
Yeah, you're just like, come on, I need my picks.
So this is it. If they get the first down, it's just the game's over. They can just kneel it out.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know how
this is
football
exactly
works.
the-
So you guys lose, and my prop loses.
Oh my God, this is something.
This is dramatic. It's dramatic.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Breach's prop. Does Hassel have money on Breach's prop?
God,
Because if Hassel suffers for my my poor prop, I want him to suffer.
Is Lucas wearing his hat? Oh, he doesn't have his hat yet. I was going to wonder. I want to see a picture of him wearing it.
Benson, I sent out Tommy's hat Monday at 11 a.m. Who do you
I
think
have
gets
taken
it
my
first?
hat downstairs, and I in fact I was going to send it out today. I couldn't. It's not even a good excuse. But like, where I was looking for a Post-it note to attach to the hat so I could have my wife go out and send it while she was out running, because she. What?
You couldn't find a Post-it note, so you didn't take something to the post office.
I mean, I wasn't leaving. I was going to send it with my wife.
You could like take a picture with it on the phone and text it to her. I mean, there are a million different ways you could have done that.
Oh, I guess I could do that. Yeah. Oh,
Dude,
man, I have a bunch of stuff to do today.
Lucas, don't hold your breath.
Right. Or you will literally die.
Lucas, I'm gonna make sure you get this hat very quickly, just because
Before
just to spite Wilson and Debo, who are
over
such-
under Halloween.
a week from now. I'd
10
probably
days.
take the over.
10
I'd probably
days.
take the over on hell. I'd say, yeah.
All right, tackle him. Come on.
Go to the house. Don't
Go!
He got down. No! There's a flag.
There is a flag.
Got to be
They're gonna
holding.
call holding.
Why
They're
did
not going to call holding,
How
are
did
they?
this? The AAF legend got down. He was about to punch it in for his second touchdown at 150 yards.
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh, incredible. What theater.
That was fantastic. All right, I like that.
Holding on the offense.
Wow.
Where's
Can
the
the
hold?
Broncos screw this
That
up?
stops the clock, though.
Correct breach. That is a bad penalty.
Because now if
Oh, no, it was illegal motion. Sorry, not holding. It was Njoku. I had my headphones on. I couldn't hear it.
Golly. Well, I'm
All
glad
right,
he
so
didn't.
3rd and 7 on the 20. Clock
thing is,
stopped.
We would have been angry if he scored and the penalty flag got called. So either
well,
way,
I guess the clock stopping didn't matter because the Browns actually got to run off 4 seconds without
yeah,
the
they're
play
just gonna stop.
counting.
They're gonna stop.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
gonna stop him here no matter what.
Yeah, but the clock isn't.
There's no way they're throwing the ball. This has got to be a draw.
Yeah, I mean,
Where's the ball? Oh my
that
god!
is
Oh my god!
pathetic. That's pathetic.
Oh my
football.
god!
How do you not stop that guy?
You know what's coming. That is insane.
Oh my, that's game. There we go, guys. Brinson is now
On.
2-13 in his last 15.
Well, the good news is,
Hey, way to go in your kicker prop breach.
Hey, I got the Broncos covering and missed the kicker prop. I'm 1-1. You missed Melvin
You are
Gordon.
the biggest. You try to twist everything your way so much. It's
1-1.
insane.
1-1.
What is
Brinson.
Ronald Darby doing? Where is he going?
How do you not tackle? I mean, that's insane. Brinson,
That's
I wanted them to kick a field goal so the Broncos got the ball back and could drive down.
I mean,
and possibly-
that's third. You get that bailout flag, and you can't stop a team that's obviously running on 3rd down. That is
You're getting fired.
absolutely pathetic.
That's
Straight up
unbelievable.
doo.
Yeah.
Golly. Woo. You
Well,
hate
I
to see
meddled
it.
it at least. Yay me.
I tell you what, man. Exactly.
Gambling ain't easy, kids.
Those guys that make the lines are pretty good. Of course, as you mentioned, the line didn't move from 3.5. Come on now.
I mean, I'd like to file a formal complaint with CBS. Why are
No,
editors
now.
not moving it to 1.5?
17-14.
Yeah, I don't know what the rule is. I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't know what the rule is because sometimes we get emails that the line has
Well,
moved.
because it went down like an hour
And
or
the
two before the
quarterback was
game.
ruled out.
No,
No,
it went down.
it
It
was-
started at 5.5 and went
No,
down to
it was
3.5 after
and then
Baker.
Baker was ruled out. It went down to 2.
Yeah, it was 2 on Wednesday afternoon. Breach. Nice try.
Okay, I got my pick right. I'm fine. I'm not gonna fight with you guys.
Sounds like you're trying to. Man, that was some
that was
straight up
something.
doo defense.
Yeah, that's pathetic. The Broncos.
Doofus.
We did a podcast earlier today with Josina Anderson. You can check it out in the feed. She mentioned that if things were to go completely south in Denver,
Well, they're heading that way.
but might they be? I mean, assuming, and I saw a report before, during the game, that he's going to be okay in the sense that he's no long-term damage. Is there a possibility they could trade Von Miller?
Yeah. Well, I
If
mean,
he's healthy.
That's it. I just said he's fine.
well, we don't know that he's fine.
That's a big win for the Browns. Big win.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone was afraid that. I had no concern about Case Keenum. I had no concern. I saw the
The whole
Broncos.
team was injured.
Did you see the Broncos play against the Raiders?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I mean, the
that's it.
Broncos suck, right? I mean, they're not good.
Okay, so what were you worried about? This isn't Freddie Kitchens coaching
He
this
won
team.
17-14. Like, stop acting like they blew out a. I don't know.
That
What are you
game.
talking about?
Did that game ever feel close?
Yes, when the Broncos came out and scored on their first possession of the second half and cut it to 10-7, it felt close.
Yes. What are you talking about?
I had no concern.
Oh! It was 10-7. Was that a game ever close? Well, it was 3 points
Is
with
that what I said?
25 minutes left in the game. I don't know.
I
Maybe.
said, did it feel close? I didn't say I can read the score, but it
It
didn't.
definitely felt close when they cut it to 10-7.
That's wrong. Both of you are wrong. That's all I'm saying.
And that screwed the second half. Oh, no, the second half ever got time. Never mind. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Carry on.
I mean, if you look at the
But the Browns team total second half was 9.5. That should have gotten over if they stopped and they kicked the field goal. Unbelievable.
this game was not
F
close.
you, Broncos. That screwed everything.
All right.
We do this podcast. Can we wait? Does anybody need to go to the bathroom or anything?
No, Debo's said twice now. Let's go. So he's ready. He's got stuff to do.
Okay. All right.
Trying to get the ball rolling.
He's got to watch. I guess Ben Simmons is doing a thing, so he's got to go keep up on that.
Jeez. Wilson is lashing out.
I don't even.
It's
I had
like,
to,
Wilson's like the guy who knows it's about like the shoe's about to drop on this 40 games above 500 spread.
you keep saying that, but I keep winning, Breach.
Ryan, I am really pissed about this NBA top 75 players list.
Oh,
So
talk
I
about
gotta-
that for a second while I get some ice from my.
Oh, he had to go potties. So,
I did-
who is Allen Iverson not on it or something?
No, he's on it.
Oh,
I don't have any like true connection to this guy, but it is egregious that Dwight Howard is not one of the top 75.
oh, that's why everyone's
ever.
tweeting about Dwight Howard. I see.
Dwight Howard was trending tonight. I put it out there. Dwight Howard is better than Patrick Ewing, which is just strictly facts. I know a lot of Knicks fans will not take kindly to that, but it's just true.
Debo.
It's like I don't know the football equivalent. If you're leaving like I don't want to say a player that's like above Dwight Howard, but like if you're saying Drew Brees isn't like a top 20 quarterback of all time, that's how I feel.
Do you feel comfortable saying who made the list, or do I need to look for it on Twitter?
Oh, it's 75 players, so it's deep, but we don't have to go too deep in NBA. I know people came here for football.
Well, Brenton had to freshen his seltzer.
Yeah, recap starting momentarily.
So what's going on with Ben Simmons? Why isn't he there? Why does he want to be traded? I don't even know
Just sometimes you want a fresh start. That's how I feel about this podcast sometimes. Sometimes I'm just physically and mentally checked out of this podcast, but I do show up to work for it.
But he just signed a deal or not?
Yeah, he's got 4 years left, so it's pretty unique that someone would take this stance with 4 years left. Normally we see it in a player option year or 2 years left, so this is an interesting one.
So this list, the NBA list, is put out by the NBA, not by like a particular news agency?
By the NBA, the panel consisted of current players, former players, and writers, media.
So let's see. I'm trying to think. Okay. I'm looking at this list real quick. So should Chris Paul be on this list over?
Yes. 100%.
He should be on it?
100%.
Okay, good.
But, there's some Adrian Dantley didn't make it.
Oh, I know. I know him.
People had some issues with Dikembe Mutombo, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter.
Is Jason Kidd better than Dwight Howard?
Maybe, but I think Dwight Howard's a top 50 player. Jason Kidd should be on the list. Someone that shouldn't have made it is a more recent guy, Damian Lillard, who's great, but just has no business being on there. And I'm not even saying current guys. Put Sidney Moncrief on there ahead of Dame Lillard.
What about Giannis? Should he be on there?
Oh, 100%.
Even
he's
though
top
he's young?
20 already.
Oh, nice.
All right. That I couldn't pee before the pod. Can't do anything right.
And that concludes talking hoops.
Me and Brenton saw Gary Payton at the New Orleans airport as we were leaving the Super Bowl back in
That's right,
2013. He was sitting there with what's his name? Anderson, the guy who's on Blackish. I think he's one of the stars of Blackish. Remember, he was sitting there with him. What's his first name?
Anthony Anderson.
Yeah, he was sitting there with Anthony Anderson.
We also saw. I had a weird thing where on the way into New Orleans,
saw Dave
I
Kepner
ran into Michael K. Williams, R.I.P., and Omar from The Wire. And on the way out, I ran into Chad Coleman, who he was on my plane, who he's in The Walking Dead, but he's also Cuddy in The Wire too. So it was like very bizarre. Like I ran into one Wire star on the way in and one Wire star on the way out of that Super Bowl.
And we saw David Koechner also at that airport, sitting around with the rest of the deadbeats.
After we've been partying with Koechner for the weekend. And then we saw a guy puke in the middle of the airport too.
I didn't see that. That was you.
I went to the bathroom. This guy's just walking because you can drink at the New Orleans airport. So these guys all come, party all weekend at the Super Bowl. You pounded a margarita and just bleh.
The best part of that Super Bowl was that we weren't working with Breach yet, so I'd have to do all his work while he slept.
That's funny because I had to do all your work in that Super Bowl.
Wait, was the hot take that Dwight Howard didn't make the top 75 or something?
Yeah, Debo is fired up.
It's kind of
great.
dumb.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Dwight Howard. I mean, he was a DPOI, went to the
3 times.
He's a 3-time DPOI and he didn't make top 75?
5-time first team All NBA. Get Reggie Miller out of my face.
Oh, all right, that's it, Debo. No Reggie Miller slander on this podcast. Reggie Miller's definitely a better player than Dwight Howard.
You're crazy. You're an idiot.
Wait, you're trying to say that Dwight Howard's better?
You go 2-13 against the spread, then you're going to tell me Reggie Miller's better than Dwight Howard? Get out of here.
First of all, it's 2-12. Second of all,
he's counted the last 15
Wait,
games.
you're a freaking millennial.
He made third team All NBA 3 times, which means 3 times in
third
his career.
team?
Third team All-NBA 3 times. That means he was between the 11th and 15th best player only 3 times. Never was second team, never was first team. Dwight Howard was first team All-NBA 5 times. Argument over.
Oh, here's another one for you. Who's in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, like Dwight's not going to be in the Hall of Fame?
He's not top 75 all time. Why is he getting in the Hall of Fame?
Because he's weird
Reggie
to hang
Miller's
out
the
with.
guy you pick here?
No one wants to hang out with him at the NBA 75 ceremony. That's fine. I get it. Dwight Howard's a weird guy. Put him on the list.
You think that's why he didn't make it?
Yes.
That's a weird take.
I
What
mean,
about Nate Thurman? Should Nate Thurman be on this list?
well, they
What?
grandfathered all the guys on the 50 greatest list into it. So it was just 25 new names on this list, which Reggie Miller did not deserve to do.
By the way, Reggie Miller, third all time field goals made.
Sick.
in history.
Sick.
Oh, Nate Thurman. This is someone else. He played like when I was
This is
younger.
a
I don't
weird
remember.
take. You're attacking Reggie Miller over it. So let me see this top list.
I hate to do this, but actually, I agree with Brenton. Like Reggie Miller was the bomb.
Reggie Miller's just clearly a top 75 NBA player.
I
Not
hated him.
once in his career was he a top 10 player.
You
Not once.
weren't old enough to watch him.
Not
Yes, he was
once.
absolutely a
Not
top 10
once.
player. What are you
Why
talking
wasn't he?
about?
Why didn't he ever make first or second team All NBA?
It probably involves playing the same position as Michael Jordan.
Okay. There's a second team.
I hated him, and that's because he was so good. I wouldn't have cared if he was terrible. That was my sort of peak NBA.
There are
watching.
other people you can take off other than Reggie Miller. Let me look at this. By the way, who's the? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name.
I don't know.
I forget. I'll remember in a second.
Oh, you weren't here. You know what Debo tweeted?
Oh boy.
That Dwight Howard is better than Patrick Ewing all day long.
1,000%.
What? This is.
Oh
like
my
peak-
God! I watched Georgetown when I was 3.
I'm not sure Joe, when I was 3. You didn't watch anything when you were 3.
I'm
What are you
talking
talking
about
about?
you.
He's making fun of you.
I'm making fun of you, Benson.
I mean, when I didn't even watch Georgetown. It's an NBA list. He was in the NBA when I was in my peak NBA watching. What are you
I
talking about?
think the aura of Patrick Ewing exceeds the actual player of Patrick Ewing. But
The guy that should come off this list is Allen Iverson.
Okay.
Oh God, here we go.
Just kidding. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. It just,
You don't want slander from the AI community.
no. I love AI. I think AI is actually underrated.
Great movie.
Maybe we do a couple minutes of OT on this, but let's talk.
Hold on, I'm just
football.
trying to get through, and I want to see. I mean, it's a pretty strong list.
It is actually not a bad list.
There's omissions. for
Reggie,
sure.
I don't disagree with your take that Dwight Howard should be on the list. I do disagree with your like the only guy you could find was Reggie.
No, it's not the only guy, but when 50 guys are grandfathered in, and then you're adding only 25 new guys. I mean,
I mean, is Dame Lillard.
No,
I mean,
he
I
shouldn't
love Dame. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Tracy
Is he
McGrady should be on the list ahead of him.
like
I
I
mean-
don't understand why they have all these guys who are currently playing on this list.
It's fair to have LeBron and
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Melo
yes.
and Kawhi and Giannis and Harden and Durant. That's a
Giannis
deserving list.
a little early.
No.
No.
He's done things that people can't accomplish in 25 years of playing. He's on there.
Okay, I'm fine with it.
Two-time MVP, Finals MVP, All-Star Game MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. He's top 25 to me already.
Okay. What, Dave Bing?
That's back in the day.
You sure about? I mean, I don't know.
I didn't even watch it.
I
You
don't
know,
know.
come at me with some.
Dave Bing averaged 20 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 6 assists.
Yeah, if we're doing that, then yeah, like take off Dolph Shays, take off Bob Pettit. Maybe not Bob Pettit, but there's some names, Nate Thurman, that you could remove from the list.
Yeah. This is a tough list to do.
By the way, Randy tweets at all me, you, and Debo, and he says Reggie Miller made more threes in 17 seconds in a playoff game than Ben Simmons has in his career. Ouch. Also true.
One of the NFL's top, or one of the NBA's top,
Oh!
one of the NBA's top 75 players is
What?
tweeting about this game.
LeBron.
Nothing. That's right, LeBron.
LeBron's making a.
LeBron's talking more about football than we are.
All right, let's go.
Sorry.
Reach is getting itchy.
I'm
This
not
is the
itchy. I like
basketball
actually
pod.
listening to this debate because I don't want to say who that I think is winning, but it's been a fun listen.
Oh, Milo PKP is off the Benson bus.
I mean, I think we could probably. I mean, Hal Greer. I'm sure
Al Greer, no.
Hal
Sixers
Greer could
legend.
probably get off the list.
No, let's keep him on there.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Philadelphia. I see.
Keep Billy Cunningham on there.
Uh-huh. It's Reggie Miller targeted slander. This is outrageous.
I mean, come on.
I mean, what is Sam Jones doing on
What
here?
are we doing? It's cool. He had a little back and forth with Spike Lee. Like,
What are
that's
you
about
talking? He's the all-time third all-time in three-pointers at a time when the three-pointer wasn't in vogue.
sweet.
This is a weird take.
It's not a
Did
weird
Reggie Miller
take.
hurt you? What did Reggie Miller do to you?
Be a top 10 player once in your career. He made 5 All-Star teams. That's not even saying like Michael Jordan was at his position. He made 5 All-Star teams in 20 years. That's top 24 players in the league.
I love that this is as angry as we've ever seen Debo.
The dudes in the 90s looked like Brinson.
Oh, that's
That's
disrespectful.
a single dunk on this.
Disrespectful to John Stockton, but okay.
That's so weird. What a weird assault on Reggie Miller.
65% of the players had hair plugs like Brinson.
I will say, like, if you made Larry Bird 5'4", he would be Will Brinson.
I'm starting to wonder, is Reggie Miller the Phillip Rivers of the NBA?
All right, can we start this podcast? And you and Debo can take this offline, as they say.
No, Brinson. I mean, I was gonna say he's like a Matt Ryan type-ish player. Never won a title. Compiled a lot of stats. Cool. He was around for a while. Revolutionized the three. He was influential with the three, but like, let's be real about how elite he was.
Do we have an advanced nerd stat that we can contextualize this? You know, his like WAR or whatever. Do they have a basketball stat for that?
I think they
Yeah,
have.
there's
Win shares,
PER. There's all sorts of stuff.
win shares leaders all time.
Well,
Oh my. Oh well, this is awkward. I see Reggie Miller ahead of Kobe Bryant, Bill Russell, Hakeem Olajuwon, Jerry West, Magic Johnson, and Paul Pierce. Oh my. I'm sorry, Debo. You may have cut out there.
I'm here. You can
Oh,
you can
geez.
spit your stats at me all you want.
15th all time in win shares in
Debo
NBA
ain't going
history.
nowhere.
The ABA. Oh, Artis Gilmore is who I was looking for, by the way. Artis Gilmore and my grandfather were like buddies. He showed up. In my
Great
grandfather's
hair, if I'm remembering.
enormous human being.
Yeah, he's a basketball player. What are you talking
No,
about?
but he was. I believe he was 7'2".
Yep, 7'2".
That's not like normal basketball. That's
He's still
enormous
alive
human-
too. Good for artists. If
Yeah.
I remember correctly, he was a seventh
The
round pick.
A-Train, baby.
Jacksonville University.
Yeah, that's how I knew my dad. I mean, my grandfather. Excuse me, because he was at my grandfather lived in Jacksonville. They were boys. Anywho, let's go and wow, Dwight Howard, 32nd all-time win share.
Man,
Like I
There's just-
said, you can stick around a long time and put up some numbers.
or you can be a winner.
Look at a player's peak.
Debo ain't having it.
You put up Dwight
I,
Howard.
did-
from-
I forget that Dwight Howard did help lead the Lakers to that championship last year.
He's got a title. He's got a ring.
Get out of here! Don't give. All right, this is not a basketball.
Should have
game.
won
This
an
is
MVP.
ridiculous.
Well, keep
Who won
chatting.
MVP when he lost? No, breach is not okay.
Derrick Rose in 2011 took a team to the finals. Reggie could never do that except when he was washed
Except
up.
the one time he did it.
Except when he was 2000. Like, come on, that was
21 years ago.
13 years into his career.
Who exactly did the Dwight lose to?
He lost to the Los Angeles Lakers, and they should have
That
won.
sounds
If not
familiar.
for a little,
Who did Reggie lose to?
he lost to the same Los Angeles Lakers.
All right, we
Let's do the podcast. Let's is hashtag save breach. Breach
I
is-
declare Debo's the winner. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Whatever.
Ha!
Reggie. All right, let's start the podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host. It is Friday, October 22nd, and we are about to break down a thrilling. I don't know how the NFL keeps pulling this off. I mean, these absolute poo games turn into incredible, well, not incredible, thrilling games, but at least entertaining until the end games. 17-14 Browns win over the Denver Broncos in Cleveland on Thursday night. The Broncos, this is weird because the Broncos covered against the initial spread, but the closing line, the Browns covered, and the under hit quite easily, was never really in doubt. Joining me to break down this game, John Breach, Ryan Wilson and John Breach. What's up, boys?
Hey, and hey.
And some more hay.
Hey. I actually saw some actual hay at the zoo this weekend. So that's what I think of Ryan's hey.
Yeah, I saw you on the social media having fun at the zoo. I will say you seem to be a much better father than you are an NFL writer.
I mean, I hope so.
The people in the YouTube chat.
Kid would never eat if that wasn't the case.
The people in the YouTube chat point out that it is still Thursday as we're recording this. That is correct. It is Thursday at 11:35 p.m. We record this live on Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. And we do Thursdays at 1 p.m. Our pick show with me, Pete Briscoe, and RJ White that you can watch on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/pick6. We also apparently, moving forward, are going to be doing a pre-pod sweat show where we watch the final 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is of Thursday Night Football, depending how good it is. We talk about the game. I cry about the Braves. Wilson complains that I'm crying about the Braves, but it's a good time. So you can come and hang out with us then, and then we start the show. If you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Friday or Thursday, hit the friggin' like button. Seriously, hit the like button. If you're watching, you can't, unless you're watching on your TV, in which case I guess you couldn't walk up and press the button. Just press the like button and
just do it for exercise. Like it doesn't hurt to get up and get some practice in and touch your TV, and maybe you could touch poke Wilson's head. There we go.
Or fire up your fire up your phone if you're watching on your TV and press the subscribe and the like button. We greatly appreciate it.
By the way, I'm doing the podcast from Portugal where it is the 22nd of Friday. So
you don't even have to be in Portugal, Ryan. You just have to be in the Atlantic time zone where it was currently 12:37 a.m.
I'm in Portugal, Breach.
That's the one next to Maine. I believe Nova Scotia is in the Atlantic time zone. As the resident time zone expert of the Pick Six podcast.
Love it. I was going to say Australia, but number one, I'm not there, and I don't know if they're ahead of us, behind us.
It might be Tuesday there.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. They haven't seen this game yet.
I think my big takeaway from this, and I'm starting to do, as people have pointed this out to me, I was sort of quasi defending the Denver Broncos on.
I don't know why you keep doing. You were doing it Wednesday when you and I were on HQ. You were worried about the Browns having to play this Broncos team. What is your?
Well, they did have like 85 people in the injury report, and including their quarterbacks, running backs, both of their tackles, a lot of players.
What did I say to you Wednesday, and what did I say to you 15 minutes ago?
This cocky Wilson is.
I said to you, did you see the Broncos play the Raiders last week? And what'd you say?
Yes.
And then you just forgot that and went right back to, I'm worried about the Browns. I don't know why.
They went 17-14. It's not like this was a blood.
And they didn't cover, Wilson. You actually missed this one, even though you're batting 70%.
They did cover. The editors, and I'm calling them out right here. I hope they're listening. You didn't change the line like you were supposed to.
Agreed. I demanded.
So if Wilson misses a pick, it's because the editors didn't update it. This is amazing.
That line should have been 1.5, not 3.5. No one who bet on that game on Thursday got 3.5.
No, everyone who bet earlier in the week got 3.5 because if there's a lot of injury questions, you get your bet in right away.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just sort of half joshing, but 3. I thought it was 2, and I was looking at the scoreboard midway through the game. It's like 3.5. Good Lord. Of course,
it did. Yes, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Well,
where is it? Where's the prize?
It's right here. 150 likes. I can't believe 150 likes. That feels really short given the quality of this prize that we're giving away.
Hold it in front of the camera so we can't
700 likes.
This is an official Super Bowl from the.
There it is.
The Broncos actually lost this game too. Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl. Not a great Super Bowl. Bottom 10 Super Bowl maybe. But I will sign whatever you want on this Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh!
Football, or not sign.
Yeah, there you go.
I know.
You want to see what memorabilia I have back here? You guys, we'll do this on the next one, the next giveaway.
So everyone listening to the podcast and not watching it, probably wondering what in the heck is going on.
Yeah. So if we don't get there, we'll do it on the next one. That's fine. Anyway, the Browns came out in this game and absolutely dominated the first half. The score going to halftime was 10-7. It felt like 40-7.
10-0 at halftime.
Oh, so it's 10-0 at halftime. I say 10. Yeah, sorry. 10-0 at halftime. It felt like 40-0. Cleveland was getting everything they wanted. At one point, maybe either late in the first quarter or early in the second quarter, the Browns were averaging 11 yards per play on the ground and in the air. Denver had nothing. Their rush defense was pathetic. They couldn't stop the Browns down their starting right tackle, Jack Conklin, who's a big deal. They're starting two running backs, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Dearness Johnson, the pride of AAF, went for 22 carries for 146 yards and a touchdown. Unbelievable.
This game surprised me, just that the Broncos defense is that bad. I thought their offense was bad. I watched them play. Ryan was saying against the Raiders, they only scored 10 points against that Raiders defense until they got 2 garbage time touchdowns and got up to 24 to make it look a little bit better. But they were so bad. They came out, they fell flat on their face. I mean, I think in the first half, they only had something like, they had 76 total yards, 2 first downs. They went 3 and out on every single possession except for one. And the one where they didn't go 3 and out, Teddy Bridgewater threw about the ugliest interception you'll ever see. They just looked totally inept in the first half. And I don't know what happened at halftime, because they did look a little bit better, but that was national television audience got to see that the Broncos are frauds, that they were only good because they beat 3 bad teams to start the season. And then now they are playing a team with, if they play a team with any iota of talent, they are going to lose.
Yeah. So the three teams.
What happens when they play Washington next week?
That's a tie.
So the 3 teams they beat to start the season: Giants, Jags, Jets. Those teams are combined 3-14.
Yep.
The teams they lost to prior to Thursday night: Ravens, the Steelers, who are another doo-doo team, and Vegas. Those teams are combined 12-6, and Cleveland's a much better football team, even with half the roster hurt. So I just at no point was worried about this. I thought Case Keenum was probably 80% of an injured Baker Mayfield. He was fine.
I thought he was an upgrade over an injured Baker Mayfield.
Maybe. I mean, there's the conversation.
He was good.
Okay, fine. But my point is that he wasn't he wasn't hurting the offense.
No, he was. I think I would say that Baker dodged a Friday morning Cleveland sports radio conversation about who should start in week 8 if Baker's healthy. But I also think the Browns will definitely at least think about starting Case Keenum and letting Baker get healthy.
Well, there's a report, I think Associated Press was the first report. Jay Glazer has a broken bone in his shoulder. Is that what the report was, Breach?
Yep. Fractured his bone above the humerus bone, which I think is technically called a tuberosity.
Yeah, the humerus bone is in your upper arm. It holds your biceps and your triceps together.
Right, and that happened when he banged up his shoulder and re-aggravated that torn labrum. So it is, technically, I guess, a tuberosity fracture.
So, yeah, he may not play next week when they face the mighty Steelers. So if you're Pittsburgh, I think you probably rather face a banged up Baker Mayfield than Case Keenum, because, and I don't know what the status is going to be for the running backs, and we can talk about that later, but the Browns are going to be fine. I think they're 4-3 now. They're in the mix. I don't know if you're worried as a Bengals fan, Breach. You're probably just focused on being 4-2 right now, but I'm not concerned about the Browns' long-term chances to make the playoffs.
The Browns' 3 losses are the crazy shootout with the Chargers,
getting mauled by the Cardinals,
bad game, and then week one where they had the Chiefs in a vice grip and gave it up. So
and the punter said, "You know what, Kansas City, you can have the game."
Preach. We get it. You're a Bengals fan. You want the Browns to be bad.
What are you talking about? I'm illustrating to people what happened. The Browns had the game won until their punter dropped the snap and then got off, and then Kansas City scored a touchdown and won the game.
So the Browns could very easily be 6-1 right now.
Yeah.
That's my point. You don't want to be 4-3 because you'd rather be 6-1 or 5-2. But the Browns are in fine shape if they can get everybody back and healthy. That's the concern. The good news for them with all these injuries is that most of them, although Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham re-injured, suffered aggravations to their injuries tonight on various catches. Those guys look like it's a good chance that they might miss additional time. It's hard to say right after the game, but certainly not a good look for them. I mean, I don't know. I thought credit to Kevin Stefanski and his coaching staff and Andrew Berry in that front office for having the depth available to roll out there and beat up on the Broncos with everybody missing, and for the game plan. I mean, they came out and put the Broncos on their heels. If they came out tentative and came out and played poorly, Denver could have kind of flipped the script on them, and they didn't do that.
Denver was never.
Yeah,
they were not flipping the script. Denver's a terrible football team. I mean, credit to Stefanski.
I mean, again, it was a 17-14 game. The Broncos.
It was never close.
The game.
It was never close. Let's just go through. I mean, you keep talking about time possession.
We talked about this before the podcast. It was 10-7 on the Broncos.
Time of possession, 36-51 to 23-09.
I mean, yes, everyone agrees the Browns
total yards 223 to 376. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like I don't understand why.
I mean, everyone agrees the Browns were a much better team tonight, but that's how football works. It was a 3-point game at the end of the game, and it was a 3-point game early in the third quarter.
I know how math works, but I saw the players on the field, and the Broncos are terrible.
Well, okay, that's fine.
So does that mean the Browns are terrible for only beating this team by 3 points?
The suggestion from Wilson is that the Broncos couldn't have never won this game, and that's false.
100%. How many times did they lead? Thank you.
They were trailing by 3 early in the third quarter. They could have won the game. You
can't win if you don't score more points than the other team. That's simple math.
This bizarre heel turn. Wilson's like NWO
70% against the spread, Brinson.
Guy gets out against the spread. He just turns into a maniac.
Love it. Well, look, here's the thing. When it goes away, I go away. So I'm going to ride it.
Here's the other thing. Wilson keeps saying, here's the thing, is that, Kevin Stefanski did exactly what I thought he was going to do. And I can't believe the Broncos, look, they weren't letting Case Keenum throw downfield. Whatever he did, it was a disaster. He either got pressured and thrown in completion or missed his receiver. They weren't completing passes downfield. They came out in the first drive on that touchdown drive and threw short little screen passes. How the Broncos just kept falling for those screens is just epitomizes how bad this Broncos defense is, because Case Keenum wasn't going to beat you. All you had to do was stop the Browns run and
put 11 in the box and just dare them to go up top.
Right. By the way, don't get beat by screen passes. And you let the Browns third string running back come out and rush for 146 yards.
Couldn't even be the fourth string if you want Demetric Felton to be in the mix. But yeah, exactly. And here, just so you guys are clear, and hover your finger on your self-dunk button, Brinson, I'm looking at the win probability. When it was 10-7, the closest that the Broncos got, 64%. The Browns had 64% chance to win when it was 10-7. So I mean, that's as close as they got.
Okay.
So it should be much closer than that.
You made it sound like 0%.
Yeah. You dunked on yourself, fool.
Oh my God, I'm talking to you. By the way,
Wallace took it in his hands and said, up and away, Dipsy Doo, Dunkaroo.
Definition of gaslighting.
Yes, that was
I would say, look, Brinson's point is, if the Browns dominated so much, why weren't they able to put it away? And Wilson's point is, they didn't have to put it away because I never thought they were going to lose because the Broncos didn't play well enough to win. Because the Browns were just a better team. They both make sense.
The Broncos got the ball to start the third quarter, trailing 10-0,
and had done nothing all game.
They had nothing all game. It was over. They go
2 first downs in the first half.
Correct. 13 plays, 79 yards, touchdown. If the Broncos defense, which by the way, the Broncos defense is supposed to be good. They were fourth in points allowed coming this game. I'm not saying I thought they were good, but Vic Fangio is a defensive coach. They have Von Miller. They drafted Patrick Surtain. They have a ton of players. They are supposed to be good. Cleveland is missing its top 2 running backs, its right tackle, and it has 2 key wide receivers really banged up. If you are Vic Fangio, you have to find a way after that touchdown score to make it 10-7 to not allow the Browns to go 13 plays, 80 yards in 7 minutes and 21 seconds to score a touchdown. And they didn't do it. That's humiliating. But a stop there, which in theory is possible because you have, human beings operating on the field against backups, a stop there, and the Broncos get the ball with a chance to take the lead.
And not just the stop. We're talking about, this was a drive where it took a Case Keenum miracle scramble on 4th and 3. Otherwise, the Broncos get the ball trailing 10-7. I mean, the fact that Case Keenum got that first down on a scramble, who did he juke out of their pants? I don't even remember.
Justin Sternad, I believe.
Yeah, he had a Broncos defender one-on-one. This is a 4th and 3 play from the Broncos 6-yard line. Instead of kicking the field goal, Stefanski decided to go for it. and nobody was open. Case Keenum is about 10 yards away from the first down because he's dropping back to pass. Season opening, has one guy to beat. This is Case Keenum. He is the slowest man on earth. There is no reason he should have gotten this first down. He plows through the defender and gets the first down by about 6 inches.
I think, or look, maybe Wilson, maybe I'm saying it wrong, or you're misinterpreting it. I'm not saying that the Browns didn't dominate. The Browns dominated this game.
That's all I'm saying.
What was the chat from somebody said this is the most dominant lopsided 3-point win I've ever seen? That's my whole point. It's like this type of game profiles as you should win by double digits. And there was a moment there where the Broncos could have taken control of the game and could have won the game. Now, obviously the Browns won, but it was a 3-point win. They scored 17. It was 17-14.
New Wilson order.
Well, and I thought that fourth down play was the play of the game, because I was like, wow, if the Broncos open the second half with a touchdown, then get a fourth down stop, this game might turn around.
But let me ask you this, Breach. If Kevin Stefanski's worried about the Broncos, he 100% kicks a field goal there.
No,
he's thinking if I get a touchdown, the game's over, because the Broncos offense can't score points.
No, he's
you think he just wasn't worried up 10-7?
No, he wasn't. Why would he go for it? He would just kick a field goal.
He's analytical based, and it was an obvious go for it spot.
Well, you're exactly
because
wrong.
They were
there,
averaging 11 yards per play in the first half.
Hold on, Breach. Stop, Breach. You're 100% wrong. Check our buddy Ben Baldwin, and then you can dunk on yourself. You're going to hurt yourself all the dunks.
Ben Baldwin's bot has been wrong a billion times in the last 2 weeks. What are you talking about?
All right, Ben Baldwin's an economist. What's the math that you did to do the math on that?
Wait, you can't just blindly follow some like Ben Baldwin's model. What did it say? What did it say? What was the?
Let me pull it up. Give me a second.
I like the move to be aggressive and go for it on the fourth down spot there.
It was a 2% difference according to the Ben Baldwin
there you go.
bot.
77%
attempt, 77 going for it, 75.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Wow. What a slam dunk obvious difference that was.
No, you just said it was clear that the analytics said go for it. Those are the words that came out of your mouth.
And you're just I'm correcting you. Ben Baldwin's teat here and his freaking model, like it's guaranteed to be right about everything.
No, this is just a guy that I know whose background is math and talking to someone who's been watching a baseball game. That's all.
There's somebody who's an NFL head coach who got the job by being good at analytics who went for it. And your suggestion is that he went for it because, quote, he wasn't worried about the Broncos. That's an asinine statement. He just didn't care about the Broncos. They pose no threat down 3, so why not just go for it? Cost the win, whatever. Wilson, go for it. What are you talking about?
You sound like someone who's 2-13 against the spread the last 15 years.
I was waiting for that.
I mean, yeah, you're being a troll right now. This is unbelievable.
He has no answer for that. It's so great. I love it.
All right, so Breach, why did Kevin Stefanski go for it on that fourth down?
He went for it because he's thinking, look, if we fail, this Broncos offense has had one good possession this entire game. If we fail, they take over at their own 6-yard line. Teddy probably throws a pick 6, or we safety him. They have to go 94 yards. I don't think they can go 94 yards. But again, if they had failed, the Browns don't get any points. It's a 10-7 game. Maybe Teddy gets them down in field goal range, and now it's tied. So I think
a lot of maybes there, Breach. A lot of maybes.
I don't even know why I'm worked up about this. Wilson is being a troll. He's sitting on top of the pick standings and he's trolling. This is his quintessential Wilson.
Well, Wilson, why did you tell us why did he go for it then?
You asked me or did you ask Brinson?
I'm asking you, since the bot told him not to.
Oh, well, according to Brinson, he listens to a different bot.
So I'm asking you why he went
something
for it.
to do with it.
I'm asking you why he went.
Because I don't think he cared. Because if he didn't get it, then what's going to happen? There's going to be a 3 and out, as you just pointed to. I agree with everything you said about.
Yeah, that's what I said. So why'd you mock what I said?
Because he's going for it because he doesn't care. Because he's like, I'm not worried about this team. If I don't get it, big deal.
That's just not a valid argument for why NFL head coach.
Only the Browns would have won by 2 touchdowns.
So your argument is, who cares? Big deal. If I get it, that's not a valid argument.
I mean,
whatever. Who cares? This is a stupid argument.
Thank you, Anthony. I mean, clearly, you're living in a bubble.
This is a stupid argument. We're gonna get so many tweets about this podcast being terrible. Whatever. This is what happens when we've been on this freaking live stream for an hour.
No more live streams.
No, I just think Prince is just angry about the Braves. He's angry about the other stuff that we can't talk about anymore because he gets triggered about that.
Well, it's 2-12. First of all,
2-13. Your last 15, you're 2-13.
Reggie Miller also sucks. All right.
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Joining Inside the NFL on Paramount Plus is a huge honor, and I'll be preparing with the same intensity that I did throughout my career. Brandon with the hand signals to emphasize his point. Amazing technique. Phil takes such a cerebral approach to this game.
You go down there and you bite his ankles.
He's an innovator. JB uses SAT words a bunch. Frivolity, that is a Harvard man.
Inside the NFL. New episodes streaming Tuesdays exclusively on Paramount Plus.
I can't believe I got breached by Wilson on the first half of this podcast. Just put me in a corner where I'm arguing about something that I'm not even really sure I believe. But look, the final score was 17-14. The game was close. I don't know what to tell you. They didn't cover at 3.5 point spread. That means the game was close.
Classic married couple. That is true, Anthony. That's a good comment because these guys have been together for 10 years. That's what happened. You start
Way
arguing
longer
over
than that,
things.
Breach.
11, 12, 13, 14. It's been forever.
2007, I think.
It's like 15 or 14 or 15.
You know what's funny, though, is that in the second half, look, the scoreboard.
Oh, by the way, Bree, sorry to interrupt you. Yesterday, for real, how many years do you think I've been married? Yesterday was my anniversary. If you had to guess, look at my handsome face.
Oh, it was? Sorry.
Is it 20? Was it 20?
20. Can you believe that?
I got it.
Oh, awesome.
Tell your wife I knew what it was.
Screwed up.
It's actually a sad why I remember because
Wilson's
I remember your
anniversary is my mom's birthday. And then, what are our birthdays one day apart? Is that what it is?
Yeah, about that.
There's like several weird little. Yeah.
Well, I think I remember you told us a story where your honeymoon flight was empty because it was a month after 9/11.
That's right. Absolutely. Flew to Paris.
Debo forced to break on us.
Yeah, that's what you get, Debo. Got more
all right, what do you want to?
Go ahead, Breach. You were saying I interrupted you.
All I was going to say was that for as bad as the Broncos' offense has been the whole game, and really the whole season, and the talk was, hey, if the Broncos are going to be in this game, it's going to be because their defense plays well and their offense just does anything. In the second half, the offense came through with clutch drives when they needed it. They were down 10-0. Boom, they made it 10-7. So all you need is a defensive stop. Vic Fangio's a defensive coach. You can't get it. And then now you're down 17-7. You need a touchdown. Teddy did that at the end of the game with 5 minutes left. They get another touchdown. It's 17-14 again. Now what do you need? A defensive stop. Vic Fangio's a defensive coach. You don't get it. So, if I'm the Broncos front office, I'm a little worried that my defensive coach is falling apart.
No, I agree absolutely. This is a indictment of Vic Fangio, even with all the injuries at the linebacker position. Von Miller has to leave. Look, the Broncos have been beat up by injuries. We get it, but this game, the third, come down to the final play of the game, or the final non-kneel play of the game, where the Broncos give up a first down that the Browns are about to take knees. There's an illegal motion call. Goes back to 3rd and 7. Everyone on the planet with any eyeballs or ear holes watching or listening to that game,
and blind and deaf people too.
I'm trying to be inclusive. Anyone who was watching the game, even if you don't know anything about football, the Browns are running on that play. And Vic Fangio's defense gives up 7 yards, and it was like that all night. Kudos to Kevin Stefanski and the offensive coaching staff for drawing up good plays, and kudos to the offensive line for blocking their tails off. And Dearness Johnson ran his face off. But dude, that was an embarrassing performance by the Broncos to give up 4.6 yards per play total. They gave up 5.5 rushing yards per play, and that number was a lot. Both those numbers were a lot higher until Cleveland was trying to close out the game and had a few shorter runs. Look, I get it that Cleveland was a much better team tonight. The score was close. But the big takeaway is that Denver's defense is not good. And if you hire Vic Fangio, you expect your defense to be good. And if your offense sucks, which it does, and if your defense sucks, you got a defensive coach, you have a big problem on your hands.
So I just saw this. This is awesome. And we haven't talked enough about Dearness Johnson going crazy. But Courtney Kramer, who looks like she does social media for the Dallas Stars, and she just happened to save the screenshot. She tweeted out, this was her favorite story about Dearness. He DM'd every AAF team in 2018 asking for a tryout. And here's the actual DM he sent on Instagram. He goes, "Hi, my name is Dearness Johnson. I'm the former running back at the University of South Florida. After finishing college at USF, I attended a training camp with the Saints, where I've since been a free agent. I'm very interested in becoming a part of the Alliance League and would love the chance to send in my highlight videos for you all view. Thank you! ! So good for Dearness for hustling. Good for him for not throwing up his hands and saying, this is unfair and it stinks. And then certainly making the most of the opportunity. Now that, two of the best running backs on the planet are hurt. You wouldn't have known it if you just, landed from Mars and watched this Browns game. You go, oh, that must be Chubb and or Hunt running behind that offensive line, but it was Dearness Johnson. Cool.
He looked awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, bottom line, he was great.
He won them the game. I mean, he won them the game. He took all the pressure off Case Keenum, and he's out there averaging 6-something yards a carry, and that's exactly what they need. And the crazy thing is, once Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are back, he goes back to the bench, and now you have like this super weapon sitting back there as your third string running back. So, I mean, the Browns are loaded at running back. It's insane.
So let me ask you this. If you're a team in dire need of a running back, are you calling the Browns about Dearness Johnson now? Because the trade deadline's when, November 2nd now? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know that the Browns are answering your call, though. I mean, they're answering and then they're politely declining and hanging up.
They're like, well, Nick and Kareem aren't completely healthy, so we're going to play it safe and hold on.
I mean, Kareem's on IR, so he's going to be missing a few games.
Right. So I think you need at least, I mean, Dearness Johnson's your second guy behind Chubb when Chubb comes back for at least the next 3 games, maybe 4 games, depending on how long Hunt's out.
So the 4 games for the Browns coming up they're 4-3. They have the Steelers at home on Halloween, the Bengals on the road the following week, the Patriots on the road the week after that, and the Lions at home the week after that. They then have, oh yeah, that's right. Then they have the Ravens, a bye, and then the Ravens.
That's weird.
Yeah, super weird. But if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I think I treat this season as, okay, we are 4-3. We have 1 bad loss, 2 tough losses to good, and all 3 of those losses are to good teams. We found a way to win on Thursday night with everyone hurt. Let's try and go 3. Let's find a way to go 3-1 over these next 4 games. And that's doable, I feel like, right?
Yes.
They got to get guys healthy. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You need Jack Conklin back. You need Nick Chubb back, because the team that played tonight, I'm not sure that team can beat the Steelers. I know Wilson's making that face, but as constructed, on paper, assuming the Browns have their guys who are injured, assuming those guys are back, then they beat the Steelers. But the team that was on the field tonight, I do not think could beat the Steelers.
Are you including Baker, or you're fine with Case?
I'm not including Baker.
Okay.
I think Case.
No, I'm saying if Keenum's out there starting with you have your third string running back, you have your third tackle in there. With that kind of, and Jarvis Landry, we don't know what his injury is. We don't know Odell. We don't know who he's throwing to, Case Keenum or Baker Mayfield, whoever's quarterback. We don't even know who they're throwing to. So just got to make sure. But they have 10 days. They have 10 days to get everyone healed before they have to go to Pittsburgh. So I do think they'll be okay.
I don't know if we have any smart people in the chat. I mean, I'm
clearly not. They're listening to us.
That's a fair point. Does anybody know how to create a bot? Because if we had a bot that would pipe into our YouTube chat and be like, breach bot, like it was an actual breach bot.
Browns bot.
Every time Breach talks bad about someone else in the AFC North.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I just don't know.
Realistic. You think Case Keenum and Dearness Johnson are gonna beat the Steelers?
Yes.
At home, I think it'll be close.
It'll be in Cleveland again. Like, you talk about how boring this game was and how quote unquote close it was. The Seahawks should have beaten the Steelers with Geno Smith. So no Chris Carson. They had Alex Collins till he got hurt in the 4th quarter. And that was in Pittsburgh. I don't know why you guys think the Steelers are going to be at all going to give the Browns anything other than.
I think a healthy Browns team.
The game, and I don't want to relitigate.
A healthy Browns team is better than the Steelers. Like, there's no debate about that. I'm just saying, with the health of the Browns right now, they are beatable against Pittsburgh. That's it.
For sure. But the Browns, I think the Browns could win at home against the Steelers and on the road against the Bengals.
Oh boy, here we go. Go ahead.
Even banged up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm in their current state, they're probably not favored in Cincinnati, but they could find a way to win.
I mean, you look at their next 5 games until the bye, they could go 5-0. I could see them going 5-0. I could see them going 2-3. Like, that's not implausible. You playing the Steelers, the Bengals, the Patriots, the Ravens.
His face.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to chat about the Broncos, and we mentioned it previously with Vic Fangio. So the Broncos are now 3-4. They started 3-0 and they beat the 3 worst teams. A great question for our buddy Lucas, who will get a hat at some point before Christmas, maybe. Which coach is fired first, Matt Nagy or Vic Fangio? And this is a very valid question because the Broncos are actually, they have the Washington football team at home on Halloween next week. Then they're at the Cowboys the week after that.
Oh,
Yikes.
boy.
Eagles at home the week after that. And then they have their bye. Again, this is a team that started 3-0, got people excited. They beat up on bad teams. They look a lot like the Carolina Panthers, except in the AFC. They have lost 4 straight games. They were humiliated in prime time defensively with a defensive head coach by a backup quarterback, a third-string running back, and some backup offensive linemen and a bunch of hurt wide receivers. Like that was, again, chat's been yelling at me. Wilson's been yelling at me. They got humiliated. Does Vic Fangio, if they lose their next 3 games, does he make it through the bye?
I think the bigger humiliation came last week when they lost to a team that, when the first coach of the year did get fired, and John Gruden.
Yeah, that was like a hype up emotional thing, I think.
Resigned. He resigned.
That was embarrassing. They didn't even show up.
Important.
It wasn't 17-14. It was whatever the score was. It was never even in question. It was a bloodbath. So I think back to back together, they're sort of cumulative. If you're Vic Fangio, he could go 1-2 very easily. I feel like over the next 3 games. I think he has to go 2-1 to sort of quell any. I don't know what his relationship with George Payton, the new general manager, but if he goes 1-2 or 0-3, that's a real problem. And there could be some issues over the break.
Well, all right. So if we're talking about first coach fired or next coach fired, I guess.
I don't think Matt Nagy's getting fired for some reason.
The Lions are the Bears are 3-3. They don't look good. Fields is not. I would, if I were taking Nagy versus Fangio, I would definitely take, in terms of if I'm picking who gets fired, I'm taking Fangio over Nagy as more likely to be fired because for a couple of reasons. One, the 3-0 to 3-4 and potentially 3-7 or 3-6 start or whatever it is the way it just looks is so bad. 2, your defense is supposed to be good and it's terrible. 3, you have Pat Shurmur, who is a former head coach, a 2-time head coach, actually, on staff that could take over if you needed to do that. And 4, as Wilson points out, new general manager. Nagy with Justin Fields in there, even as questionable as he's looked, I think I would be surprised if he got fired. The Dolphins are in the mix.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, well, there are 6 teams that have 1 win or less. Obviously the Lions are 0-6. 4 of them have a first-year coach, so you're not getting fired in your first year.
Well, Urban has to be in the discussion, I think, but I don't think he gets fired.
And then the other 2 are Joe Judge and Brian Flores.
I think Joe Judge is at the top of the list over Nagy and Fangio. I mean, those other two teams have 3 wins, and
True.
The Giants are a meteor headed right for the sun.
O+ asked in chat, what about Dan Campbell? Dan Campbell is going to get the whole year, I feel like.
Yeah,
and maybe even 2 years. The Lions, Rick Spielman, and then what's the guy I hate, Bob Wood or whatever in the front office. They all
Rod Wood.
Is it Bob Wood? Rod Wood?
Rod
Wood. Yeah, my guy Rod Wood.
Look, you could have Belichick, Nick Saban, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, all coach this team on the coaching staff at the same time, and they're still going to win just as many games as Dan Campbell.
Yeah. Dan Campbell's going to get the whole year. They will not. They know they're rebuilding. They won't fire him midseason, I don't believe. Victor says my guess is still Urban Meyer.
I think that's
Urban's definitely. I mean, but Urban is not in the cards if nothing weird
I was going to say, I don't think Urban gets fired. He's not getting fired this year unless another video comes out or text or something.
Yeah, it has to be something non-football related for Urban to get fired.
Because if you're Shad Khan, if you're Jacksonville's owner, you're thinking, like Urban Meyer wasn't here for most of that 20-game losing streak, and that whole losing streak's a bad look for Jacksonville, and for Urban Meyer to be the coach who broke it is going to reflect good on him. So there's no way he's getting fired this season unless something more embarrassing comes out.
Wait a second. So you would say that Urban Meyer's experience thus far this season has been more positive than negative?
No, just that he's not going to get fired this year.
I don't think he's going to get fired. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're talking about him breaking the 20-game losing streak.
He was not there for all 20 games. It's not like he lost all 20 games. He walked into a 15-game losing streak. And
well, what about all the things that JLC's been reporting since the summer, that it's dysfunctional, that he doesn't know how to game plan for the week, that everything's a doo-doo show? I mean, that's a problem. I would imagine Shad Khan knows about this since
Exactly. And then the one thing I said last week was if he went to 0-6, then I wouldn't have been surprised. But now that he's got that one win under his belt, I would be shocked. You scoff, Ryan, but I think winning cures everything.
I mean, Shad Khan is deeply embarrassed by how terrible his football team has been for the entire tenure, except for 2017 of his ownership. He doesn't want to fire Urban Meyer after he gave him the keys to the kingdom and let him completely redefine the roster and run football operations by himself, essentially.
Well, this is the same Shad Khan who had to release a statement after the dance video came out saying this is a huge embarrassment.
Again, like if something else happens with Urban off the field or more stuff comes out about anything else that has happened, that's a different story.
Can you imagine having to write this stuff about a 57-year-old grown man who has grandkids? Like, if you do this one more time, then you're really going to be in trouble.
It's literally what Urban says to his grandkids.
Right, exactly.
To Breach's point, I think the Jaguars are the only first-year head coach who might fire their coach, and it would
or more likely maybe he just quits because it feels like he may whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he'd do that again.
Well, two
I don't
coaches
think Urban is as
resigned.
likely as people think. I think he gets through the season and then they'll try to figure things out.
Can I enter the chat and enter a name?
Nick Sirianni?
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's just wish casting.
Debo is out 6 games in.
They can't fire.
Is Nick Sirianni the Dwight Howard of coaches?
Debo, Debo, would you rather have Nick Sirianni or Zach Taylor?
Zach attack all day.
Zach attack.
Zach Taylor, you're closer to being able to fire him because he's been there long enough.
It's funny. If you even go up to 2 wins, there's some interesting coaches on that list, like Frank Reich, Kyle Shanahan, Bill Belichick. Like guys
Frank, stop with Frank Reich.
He said Bill Belichick.
No, I'm saying those. No, these are not.
He said Bill Belichick.
No, I'm not saying these guys are getting fired at all. I'm saying when you look at the list of coaches who could be on the hot seat with 2 wins or less, these are guys who are not. So you're talking about. Yes, I named Frank Reich, Kyle Shanahan, and Bill Belichick as guys who are on the hot seat. You guys got me.
All right, so who are the names you were thinking about with 2 wins?
No, I'm going to name the rest of the list.
Go ahead.
But you guys have to interrupt because you have no idea what I'm talking about, apparently. And so you have Arthur Smith, boom, first-year coach. He's not going anywhere. Sirianni, first-year coach, not going anywhere.
Look, there's only like 4 teams with 2 and 4 wins. That's just great.
He's trying to talk himself out of a ticket, and he was going 110 miles an hour.
Pete Carroll, not going anywhere. And so now you're left with Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera's not going anywhere.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, I was just going to say, of the
Dan
teams.
Snyder's not even in charge of the franchise right now. Ron Rivera is Urban Meyer with more power right now.
Go ahead.
Of the teams with 2 wins or less, he would seem like in the most precarious situation.
No chance. Wholeheartedly disagree.
And the other one is Kyle Shanahan. So you went 0 for 5 or 0 for 6.
You just named Ron Rivera, Bill Belichick.
No, I didn't name them. I said those guys aren't in trouble.
Frank Reich.
And then Frank Reich.
I did the process of elimination to say who's not in trouble and got to, okay, guys, out of the teams that have 2 wins or less, who's on the hot seat? Ryan's here trying to say that Urban Meyer's going to get fired.
Well, this wasn't a topic that either of us brought up. You just decided to broach it and then listed.
No, you guys were talking about guys on the hot seat. You're talking about coaches on the hot seat.
Run their organizations.
All right, Brinson.
Plus is on my side. I get to host the podcast.
Brinson, here are the teams that are 5-1. Tell me which of these coaches get fired. Matt LaFleur, Mike McCarthy, Bruce Arians, John Harbaugh.
Look, Breach, I'll give you a lot of credit.
That's the right answer.
You named Bill Belichick and Frank Reich, and then we're like, excuse me? And you're like, no, and now I'm going to name the other guys.
I was going down the list.
Oh, my gosh.
Look, I was naming the 2-win coaches of people who are not in trouble and getting to the coach, the only coach I think would be in trouble.
Brinson, you should have screenshot that with Debo had up there.
Actually, I do think there is a case to be made that if you're going to pick someone from the 2-win team who's going to get fired, that Frank Reich, if the Colts went completely off the rails, but Carson Wentz is playing well enough.
So now Frank Reich's getting fired?
No. If the Colts went off the rails. I can't believe
you think Frank Reich's getting fired.
Frank Reich talked Chris Ballard, by all accounts, into trading for Carson Wentz.
I'm tweeting this out.
Well, that would be a lie that you would be tweeting. So
I'm just giving you a taste of
Kyle Shanahan is not going anywhere. He and Jed York are boys. He's not going anywhere. Pete Carroll basically runs the Seahawks, and they have a weird ownership situation, not going anywhere. Frank Reich, Carson Wentz would need to really tank the entire season for Frank Reich to take the blame and get fired. Chris Ballard is a patient guy. He's not firing him. You actually said Bill Belichick's name, which is kind of incredible.
Yeah, because I was listing the teams with 2 wins, and he has 2 wins.
But you led with, all right, these coaches could get fired on 2-win teams, and then you went on to read the names.
You're like, Arthur Smith, no chance. Bill Belichick, though.
By the way, so last week someone asked who's the most correct on this podcast. And here's the thing, Breach probably has a higher batting average than me, but he says stupid things like 2 or 3 coaches like Bill Belichick getting fired. He's saying trade a 3rd-round pick for Gardner Minshew type
but
stuff.
that's not what I said at all. And anybody listening to the podcast will understand that.
Breach is like
literally not what I
Adam
said.
Dunn or Joey Gallo. It's a 3 true outcome situation.
I listed the 2 win coaches in the process of elimination to get to the one who I thought had the best chance of being fired. And you guys didn't even answer my question about who you thought it would be, except Brinson did, Frank Reich, and Wilson backed out.
You'd be a good lawyer, Breach. Clarence G wants to know if Belichick is fired, how many teams would fire their current coach to hire? I think he means hire Bill Belichick.
Ooh, that's a good way to turn this around, Clarence. With a brilliant question.
Would the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin to hire Bill Belichick?
No, they wouldn't.
Right.
Doug Whaley, who was a former front office guy for Pittsburgh and then later Buffalo, actually was on the radio show, and he said he was just speculating, but he said it makes a ton of sense for Tomlin to take the USC or LSU jobs because he would be basically God there or whatever. And there's no way he's not doing.
What is he talking about? Doug Whaley? Doug Whaley?
He just speculating. But Ed Bouchette, who's been a longtime beat reporter for the Steelers, said what we say a lot of times when we're talking about these NFL coaches. No one wants to do the recruiting because you don't want to go have to babysit a bunch of 18-year-olds and tell them a bunch of stuff and then have them go somewhere else. And it's a huge headache.
That's the same guy who drafted EJ Manuel in the 1st round. What is he talking about?
That wasn't great. That's not on the top of the resume.
But there's just no way Mike Tomlin's leaving Pittsburgh after 2 Super Bowl. Well, I guess 1 Super Bowl one, right?
1 and 2 appearances. Yep.
1, 2 appearances. Graded with Bill Cowher's players, but who's keeping track? Never, as of now, finishing with a season below 500. Probably a Hall of Fame resume when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, he started when he was 36 or 37 or whatever. No, 34.
He's not chasing kids around Southern California. What is Doug Whaley talking about? That's ridiculous.
He's on radio, and we say some stupid things.
That's not.
But it is interesting, Clarence's question, because there was I don't have it in front of me. All
right, so AFC North, the Bengals will do it in a heartbeat. I mean, I don't think the Browns could.
But wait, before you go on, let me ask you this. I'm curious what Breach would think about this. I'm not even joking. But someone who I can't find it, but someone tweeted out they did a study about how conservative Bill Belichick has been on 4th downs, and he's actually more conservative than a lot of the coaches now. Like 15 years ago, he was sort of cutting edge, and now he's replacement level or below in terms of going for it on 4th down or whatever the analytics say. So he's been extremely conservative this year, maybe because of Mac Jones, maybe for other reasons. So knowing that, Breach, are you still comfortable taking a more conservative Bill Belichick when guys like Stefanski and even Zach Taylor on some, they're going for the 4th down and doing all the things that the nerds tell them to do?
Are you asking me if I'd rather have Bill Belichick or Zach Taylor?
Just on game day, not the personnel decisions, just for 60 minutes every Sunday.
Well, I mean, is he coming up with a defensive game plan during the week?
Did you just pause on you'd rather have Zach Taylor over Bill Belichick?
No, he was getting clarification.
Yes, thank you. I'm getting clarity. Brinson trying to turn this around again. I'd have Belichick in a second.
Yeah, he's not the general manager. He's just strictly the coach, is all I'm saying.
All right, here's I counted. I'm gonna throw out an approximate number because I think there's certain factors that play into this because we're talking about right now. I counted 20 teams who would, don't think, don't blink, fire your head coach and hire Bill Belichick. The teams I left off are
the Patriots.
So now again, caveats apply here. The Arizona Cardinals are 6-0.
Let me and Breach guess the teams that will keep their coaches.
Okay.
All right, Breach, you start. We'll start in the AFC. Breach, you pick your first team. I'll go next.
The Ravens.
Correct.
John McDermott, Bills.
Correct.
Wait, how many do we have in the AFC? Or do we just keep guessing?
Yeah, we'll name them. Go ahead.
I had 3 AFC teams, 2.5 AFC teams.
So the Ravens, we have the Ravens.
3.5 AFC.
We have the Ravens and the Bills.
Ravens and Bills. Yep.
The Chiefs.
Yep.
Oh,
sorry, 4.5. I messed it up. It's hard to do.
I was going to say Brandon Staley.
Yeah, he was the half.
The charge. Oh, I thought the Patriots were the half.
No, I didn't count the Patriots. I mean, if Bill Belichick was like, I quit the Patriots, I'm going to coach the Chargers. Do the Chargers say, sorry, Bill, we've got Brandon Staley?
I don't think I do. I think I'm staying with Brandon
I
Staley.
think you have to take Bill Belichick.
But we yelled about, and I wonder how glaring
You have to take Belichick.
But again, if he is so conservative now that he's like not doing the things that we're accustomed to see people do, and we're just like, oh, that's Bill Belichick, and they're losing football games, then you're like,
This feels like the would you take Justin Herbert over Patrick Mahomes talk like 2 weeks ago. All right, but anyway, the Chargers, I definitely paused on the Chargers.
well,
So we have the Chiefs, the Bills, correct?
Ravens, Chargers. That's the four we've
Ravens,
named.
and then the Chargers. But then there's one more team that we talked about before. So
Steelers, yeah.
Steelers. Yeah, I think those are the only teams where it's even in question.
Yeah, I wonder like maybe Vrabel or
I thought
maybe
about Vrabel and Frank Reich where
Stefanski.
maybe- what's that?
Stefanski.
Yeah, I just think, well, no, we said they can't hire Bill Belichick because they fired him. The Browns did.
Oh, I thought they just meant the Patriots.
No, the Browns fired Bill Belichick previously.
I understand that. So you can
I
never.
think he just wouldn't work there. So I think that's.
Oh, I see. Okay.
See what I'm saying? All right. So NFC.
All right, go ahead, Breach.
I'll tell you how many I have in the NFC. I have. It's like 4 and
The whole NFC. It's been a while.
4.75.
Yeah.
4 point. All right, I'll start with the Rams.
What?
That would not have been my first pick. They are in the
Wait, the
half
Rams?
range. I mean, they're 5
Oh,
and
oh,
1.
I'm sorry. I thought we were going the other way. I thought that the Rams would fire McVay for. You're saying the Rams?
No,
would keep
I'm saying
McVay.
the Rams would keep McVay.
Okay,
I think that the Rams would keep McVay.
100%.
As insane as that sounds.
That's not insane.
It's Bill Belichick. He's the greatest coach in the history of professional football.
McVay has one of the best records of any coach since he's started.
I put the Rams on the list.
Sean Payton.
Sean McVay is 5 and 1. He's been to a Super Bowl where he lost to Bill Belichick. He traded for Matthew Stafford with the help of Les Snead. They're 5
He's
and
never
1.
had a losing season. He's been in the playoffs in 3
I
or 4
don't
years.
think that they would make the swap right now.
That's a layup. Well, he's 69 years old. So when are you going to make the swap?
Yeah, sure. That's the thing is like, you wouldn't trade Justin Herbert for Aaron Rodgers?
I
It's
would.
the same sort of concept. You know what I mean?
I would from the Packers. Is that what you mean?
No, I'm saying for the Chargers.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You wouldn't
Okay,
trade the young quarterback for the.
Who else do you have, Wilson?
Sean Payton, Saints.
That's a layup.
Pete Carroll, Seahawks.
Oh, I kind of thought they might swap it.
I don't think they swap it.
I think that's like the ultimate. It's like the sign Peyton to get rid of Tebow move.
Yeah, that's a toss up. I could go either way on that one.
Now, in reality, they would not do it because Pete Carroll has won them a Super Bowl, and Paul Allen died, and the ownership is it's there's no way it would happen.
No, this is hypothetical.
No, I'm saying like, yeah, I think every Seahawks fan on the planet would prefer Bill Belichick to Pete Carroll.
Mike McCarthy, that's a joke. Bruce Arians, Tampa Bay.
I don't think the Bucs would fire Bruce Arians for Bill Belichick.
No,
and even if they would, Brady wouldn't play for him.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm having fun here, guys.
All right, you have one more. Breach is tough. I wonder if it's.
I'll go with LaFleur.
I was gonna say you can go with your doppelganger.
I think I have to go with him. He's just. I mean, you can give the credit to Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, the bottom line is that the Packers have been unbeatable since he took over.
And by the way, if Aaron Rodgers can't get along with anyone, how is he getting along with Bill Belichick?
I mean, the Packers are just doing 31-7 under Matt LaFleur. I mean, you can't fire him. Like you can't.
That's it.
Young.
Every other team, you're taking Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Plus, like Aaron Rodgers leaving, you're gonna have Bill Belichick and Jordan Love. Well, congratulations, you're the Patriots now.
So were the Rams a 0.75?
The Cardinals and 49ers combined to form a 0.75. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm obviously preferring Bill Belichick to Cliff Kingsbury. But at 6-0 and the only undefeated in this team in the NFL season, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I don't know. The dude was at home last week and they still won by 50 points.
Fair. I mean, but like, don't get me wrong. I think all Cardinals fans would prefer getting Belichick over Kingsbury,
and no one's arguing about Kyle Shanahan either, which is sort of interesting. Like, he's out.
No, I had Shanahan in a toss-up section. The NFC West is tough.
And Kingsbury, even with the 6-0 start, is 19-18-1 in his career. And I don't think he gets credit for that last win because he wasn't there. So he's really 18-18-1.
Like every single coach in the NFC East is like doesn't even make it to Bill Belichick calling the owner saying, "Hey, I would like to take over." Like that guy's fired before the end of the sentence. The NFC West, kind of tough. All right, we somehow stretched this into a 90-minute podcast.
I can't believe this Broncos Browns podcast turned into which coach is going to get fired.
This is Diva's always. He's like, you know what? Let's turn this into a little segment about hot seat. And all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, he's like, I can't clip this for you too.
So stay on for the after show to talk about NBA Dwight Howard and the top 75.
Are we doing overtime?
We can skip OT tonight. We did some pregame.
Does anybody want OT? Anybody have questions? Hurry up and ask them. Still, it's actually kind of early for one of these shows.
Ooh.
I have to do HQ at
Wrap this podcast.
8 hours.
All right. See you guys. Great show. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Hit the alarm button. Breach and Wilson. I'm Brenton. We'll see you guys later.